Back during the Great Depression, an out-of-work actor came up with a great idea. Why not let folks barter goods for admission to a play? That way, they got to see the latest performances, and the actors at least got something to eat. And with that, the Barter Theater in Abingdon, Virginia was born. Today, we tell that story. Hello, folks. I'm Steve Gilley, and this is Stories, a History of Appalachia. The Sinking Spring Presbyterian Church was established in 1773 in Abingdon, Virginia. The church was originally housed in this log church building, built by the members of the congregation and its pastor, the Reverend Charles Cummings, on an 11-acre plot containing the church cemetery. That plot of land and the original church building are still there and are owned by the town of Abingdon. And burials of church members, both ordinary folks and prominent people over the last 2 centuries, reflect the history not just of the church, but also of Washington County. The Sinking Spring Presbyterian Church built a new building, then another, and finally the last one, right here as you can see, in downtown Abingdon, where they are today. The third building that housed the church soon became the property of an organization called the Sons of Temperance, an anti-alcohol group. The Sons of Temperance staged plays in the old church, the first being a production of The Virginian in January 1876, the first play ever performed in that building. And as it turns out, it wouldn't be the last. In 1890, the Sons of Temperance deeded the property to the town of Abingdon, which used it as the town hall, and then as the fire hall, complete with a loud fire alarm installed on the roof. Robert Porterfield from Saltville went to New York City to pursue an acting career in the fall of 1926. There, he went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and auditioned for a place in the school. He was told that nobody understood a word he'd said, and was told to lose the Appalachian accent if he wanted to be an actor. He was accepted into the school, though, so he got to work studying and ridding himself of his accent, and he went on to study for 2 years. Then word came that his father had died and that he'd inherited the family farm, which was named Twin Oaks in Glade Spring. He returned home to Twin Oaks to manage the farm, but the theatrical bug was still there. It was 1933, and the country was in the grip of the Great Depression. People barely had enough money to live on, much less spend on hobbies or other interests. But Robert Porterfield came up with a novel idea. If you didn't have cash to pay for admission to a play, why not pay with food? So he created the Barter Theater to put on performances for the price of a bushel of corn or a couple of chickens. And this allowed the theater to establish itself, which it did, soon becoming the official state theater of Virginia. The first performance at the Barter was After Tomorrow by John Golden. The newspapers reported that the play was performed before a packed audience who paid for their admission with, quote, cakes, fruit, vegetables, poultry, and a live pig. Oh, that fire alarm we spoke of earlier? It was used every time a fire truck was called out, and it was loud. The alarm wasn't removed till 1994, so whenever a play inside the theater was going on and the alarm sounded, actors were instructed to freeze in place until the alarm was done, then to resume wherever they left off. The interior of the theater was renovated in 1951 with furniture and decorations from the Empire Theater in New York. Another renovation replaced the seats from the Empire Theater with ones from the Jefferson Theater in Falls Church, Virginia. Robert Porterfield gave many young actors the opportunity he never had. Among those who started out at the Barter or who appeared there very early in their careers were Gregory Peck, Ernest Borgnine, Hume Cronin, Ned Beatty, and Larry Linville. Performances by the Barter Company haven't been limited to Abingdon either. They have performed in New York City, in Denmark, where they performed Hamlet, and a traveling road show in small towns in Virginia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. The Barter Theater is one of the only remaining professional repertory theaters in the United States. And they still take in food for admission during an annual celebration known as Barter Days. During Barter Days, you can pay for your ticket with a donation of canned goods, which are then turned around and donated to a local charity. Robert Porterfield died on October 28, 1971 in Abingdon. It is said, though, that Mr. Porterfield, while dead, is not really gone. Many an actor or visitor has told tales of seeing the Barter founder's spirit in the theater. He's been seen in the upstairs lobby and backstage where the actors congregate, usually dressed in gray. Actors on the stage have reported seeing Porterfield in the audience, enjoying whatever play is being performed. Here's a fun fact. There's a tunnel that runs underneath West Main Street in Abingdon, connecting the backstage dressing room of the Barter Theater and the Martha Washington Inn. This tunnel was used to smuggle supplies and people between the two locations during the Civil War. And it's said that the ghost of a Confederate soldier once emerged from that tunnel and chased actor Ned Beatty out of a dressing room. This soldier, by the way, can be seen from time to time in the theater, and we'll try to show you his wounds. If you go to the Barter and run into this Confederate soldier, though, if he wants to show you his wounds, don't let him do that. Otherwise, it's said, you'll be dead within 2 days. And that's the story, along with a little bit of folklore about the Barter Theater. Now, if you haven't done so already, be sure to go down below, click that subscribe button, and then ding the bell so you get notified every time we have a new story out. Until next we meet, y'all take care. So long, everybody.